Oké, mag ik een groot applaus voor Cian Ducrot? How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
You're
I'm
very
good.
Amazingly tall.
I'm a real Dutch guy. Yeah.
It's majestic.
But if we sit down, it's less of a difference.
More balanced out. Now I'm like a bit taller, actually.
You a bit taller, yeah. But I have like my tall man's build, like this, hunching.
Yeah.
A little bit hunching.
I'll stay nice and straight. No, you hunch. You stay hunched.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hunch this interview. This is your first time at Pinkpop. Welcome.
Nice hat. Thank you. Yeah, I know. So cool to be here. What a great festival.
Yeah. Have you already seen like the size of it?
No, I have not. I've just seen like the toilets and my dressing room.
And how are they?
Good. Very nice. Yeah.
It's a nice toilet?
Extremely clean. Everything's really clean. I don't know if it's because it's like first thing in the morning and we just got here, but I was very impressed. I started eating my breakfast off the floor of the toilet.
Oh, that's nice.
That's how I like test my immune system and stuff.
If you do that, you'll survive the festival season.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
It's been a ride for you. You've opened for Ed Sheeran, of course.
Yeah.
And do you know how many times you've already played in the Netherlands?
Oh God. I remember on my first tour, I played 3 shows in Amsterdam, which was pretty hilarious. That's when we were like, oh, guess we'll be coming here a lot. And then I guess I must have played again once in Amsterdam on the next tour. And then I must have come back again on a third tour and played 3
I think the
shows.
time, yeah. If we count it, I think this will be the 8th show of you already in the Netherlands. I think after the UK and the US and Ireland, this is your most favorite country.
It's my place.
Yeah.
I love it here.
What do you think of the Netherlands?
I love it. I think it's unreal, except it's always grey when I come here. And I don't know if that's like because I'm Irish, so it goes, oh, we're going to be grey skies for Cian, so he feels at home. But I would love to see the Netherlands sunny like one time.
You always take the weather with you.
Yeah, I always take the weather with me. But I have the best memories and always the best time coming here. And the best fans here, so... Yeah, it's kind of like, it definitely feels always like I'm weirdly going to a place that I know really well or that I feel really welcome or that I love a lot. And I never really expected that. Yeah, I don't know. It's super, super cool to have that like somewhere that is like just somewhere that I had no connection to before. And then now it's like a place that is just I feel super connected to. So.
And do the fans make that connection? Or is it the country? Is it the way people are here? Is it the memories you made here?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the fans and like the shows and then just the experience of like, it's kind of like crazy to do like, I think whenever it was my first ever tour a couple of years ago and that it was like the only place where the tickets just wouldn't stop selling, so we put 3 shows instead of 1, and then we were like, we should probably do a bigger show, and then I even had people like before I'd ever come to Amsterdam like to play a show, I had friends messaging me and people being like, oh, your songs are like everywhere here, or everyone's talking about your song, and I was like, really? Like, so it was just to have that like reaction and to feel. I think it's the fact that people are connected to the music that I make here makes it feel like a place that I love coming to, like a place where I feel like understood or something. And I guess that's like what everybody's looking for in their life, is to be understood or something. That's quite deep. It's quite deep. But I just love coming here because it's always a good vibe. And I just always feel like it's going to be a great show. And like, I also think the fans here are like extremely respectful. And I think that's like such an important thing to be in any concept or anything. But I think like the fan artist relationship is such a unique, strange experience where like you're getting to know all these people that know you so much better than you know them, and you meet them all the time, and to be in a place where like I never feel uncomfortable when I come to the Netherlands. And there are definitely places sometimes in the world where I've been put in uncomfortable situations where people might not be so respectful or whatever, and it's never
the boundaries or something.
Yeah, the boundaries, and it's never that anyone has any bad intentions, but I think there are certain countries, I don't know if it's the way that people are raised or the culture, but you immediately just feel this sense of like respect, and then that respect goes both ways, which is like super nice because you just grow this like love for the country and for the people because you just feel comfortable there.
But they also do special things for you because you were walking in Utrecht and suddenly you heard something from the Domtoren.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that?
So that was... see, I knew something was going on because I was on...
you were dragged there by your fans with like clues and something?
Well, basically, my girlfriend and my best friend just brought me... Well, we were just going for a walk around the town and or around the city. I'm as opposed to city.
But yeah.
I always just say town for like the center of a city. That's what I would call town. So we were walking around town, and I was like, where are we going? I felt like they were trying to get to a specific place and like they were kind of like talking secretly, and I was like, well, something's obviously going on and you guys are not very good at keeping this a secret. But I was just like following them, and eventually we just kind of like stopped and they were like, yeah, we'll just stop here for a second. And like just as we arrived to this like bridge, I was like, do 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 do, and I was like, I recognized that song. And then there was like these bells playing my songs over the city, which was like so cool, and also just very like moving and very kind and very sweet for people to have organized that for me. So that was like, yeah, it just felt really cool, and I got to go up there and I got to see it and I got to climb the steps, and I don't know, it's just like just another really, really fond memory that I have.
Just hearing heaven from the church in Utrecht.
Straight out of heaven, you know?
It's crazy. Well, you also do a lot back for your fans because the first time, even before like we played it at the radio, I saw your videos. We all saw your videos. How did that come about? And because you go into a place, you go like to a little terrace, and suddenly you start singing, and there's people at the terrace singing as well. And how did that come about?
It was just like a random idea that I had. Sort of, I always loved doing stupid things growing up like that, even if I wasn't filming them, especially with my best friend who was the one who ended up filming all of these videos that we did do. And I never really... It was always something like on my mind at so many different times in my life, like, oh, I should do this like thing where we pop out here, or I start singing here, or I do, but I'd never done it in like a long, long time. Never since I was like professionally being a musician, I suppose. And I think we just like, I had a phone call with my friend, and he was like, oh, we have that choir thing like on Tuesday where we're going to Manchester, and we're recording these like these music videos with an actual choir, like acoustic versions that are like the whole song, you know, for YouTube or whatever. And then I was like, oh, we like actually have a full choir for like a whole day. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, should we just like, and then I just like had this idea. I was like, oh, we should so like try and figure out if like we could do something like in a coffee shop or this.
So it was spontaneous.
Yeah, it was like super spontaneous.
That's so nice. And because it was spontaneous, did things go wrong? Because like we see these like amazing videos, people reacting, but do you have like blooper stories or something? Or
yeah, there is one video that you can find somewhere, which is like after the first few videos had been so successful, I was like, this is like what happened actually at the beginning though. So we had like multiple ideas on that day. I kind of had forgotten that I had suggested it, and then I got to Manchester and my manager and somebody from the record label was there, and they were like, oh, by the way, that idea that you had, like, we're going to do it. And I was like, oh God, I'm so not mentally prepared for that. But I was like, let's do it because it'll be really fun. And they went to like scout out some random place that we could maybe find a lot of spots. And I was rehearsing with the choir for these videos. And then we're like, okay, let's just walk around and just try. And at that point, we have thought of ideas like, okay, let's try a version where maybe you ask someone if you can sing for them, and then suddenly a choir appears. Or let's try a version where you give someone your phone to like take a video of you. Let's do a version where you just start singing. And the first one that we thought would be the best one to start with, which is obviously the worst idea that anyone's ever had, was to start with the version where you ask if you can sing for somebody. And obviously no one ever is going to say yes.
Can't be bothered, mate.
Yeah, everyone's just like, sorry, I'm getting a train. Like, in a train station as well. We were in a train station where obviously everyone's in a rush to get a train. Like, so it was a terrible idea. And I just kept asking people, and I was just like, why am I doing this?
What am I doing?
Yeah, so there's a video of all of that. how many times there were people who were so shocked. They were like, no! Oh my God, like, get away from me. And I was like, understandable, I would also say no.
Well, yeah, if people were like, yeah, the same with your videos, the thing is like, yeah, I can understand, I'm just doing my thing, leave me alone. But then,
obviously,
yeah.
That's why the best version was then just being like, well, I'm obviously just gonna start singing at someone without giving them a choice, you know? And then they're just gonna be like, what the hell is this guy doing? And the idea was that like people would think it was weird. Like that was the intention, is that people would be like, oh, shut up, like so annoying. Why is this guy singing in this cafe when like, just stop, you know? And then a choir would join in and then be like, that's actually not bad. That's actually kind of good.
That's it, because like it could be like a little cringy, but then the choir jumps in and it's amazing. Yeah.
And maybe it's still cringy, but it's, you know, cringe is the best feeling.
Embrace the cringe.
Embrace the cringe,
right?
baby.
You've been a lot of places, but now you're playing these big stages. There also comes a different lifestyle maybe with success, because you came from like another place where you had like less, I think. Maybe you had nothing, right? What is that? How does it feel now, putting that in perspective? And how low did you go?
It is definitely the weirdest thing about all of it, that like everything changes and then you're expected to not change at all, which is the hardest thing, I think. Not the hardest thing, because it's not like you want to change, but it's very difficult because obviously there's the side which is like just gratitude, and I'm so lucky, so grateful, so happy that like all the years of work paid off and that I can now do this for a living and I get to do these amazing things. But there's such a huge side to it that I think nobody talks about, because people don't want to come across as being ungrateful about like their success or like everything that's so good in their lives. But it's so weird and extremely strange, because suddenly you're no longer just like you that you are between your friends and your family and just like that nobody knows. You become like something else to other people, and it's a very weird concept to have to thread that line. Like an interesting example would be like on the last tour that I did, I had a lot of fears of being sick, because I was sick on every other tour, and it's like so much pressure because you're dying sick and everyone tells you can't cancel the show. You don't want to cancel the show for the fans, but also it's like if you cancel the show, like it's going to be a disaster, people will lose their money, like all of this stuff, and you basically are forced into that. So on this tour, when it was like you've got 3-4 shows back to back, and I had been just with Ed, which is obviously a very different thing, but he was like the only way that I stopped getting sick on tour was to not meet fans. And I was like, okay, and I was kind of really anxious about it, and my whole life was changing, so I kind of decided like, okay, I have to just keep to myself as much as I can if I'm going to not want to cancel any shows, and I'm going to want to put on every show and be as like sing as well as I can for the people coming to a show, because that's what they're paying for.
Yeah, people depending on you.
Exactly. And so there was that side, but there was also the side of me that was like, also nobody cares about meeting me because I'm just me. So I didn't really have this understanding, and my manager has so many times had to like kind of tell me that like to other people it matters. You know, and I think it's really hard in yourself to realize that people actually like care about you in that way, or that it would like mean a lot to somebody to meet you after your show.
Yeah, you cannot just vanish and just say okay, goodbye everyone, because you have like people caring for you,
exactly.
And depending on your fans, your manager, your team.
But it's hard for you to encapsulate. There's like a small bit of ego that you have to realize, and I think you don't want to ever have an ego, and so it's like, the last thing I ever want is to go, yeah, like so many people are waiting for me outside, better go out and meet the fans. I just go like, who cares about meeting me? Like, why would you? Yeah. It doesn't. The show was there. I did my thing. Yeah. Nobody cares about meeting me. And then you have to be constantly reminded, like, no, actually, it does matter to people, and it's hard because you still think of yourself as like, well, you're just the same.
But I have a thing for you, because now some people see you as like a pop star, but you could have been going in a different direction, because you trained as a classic flutist, right?
Yeah, that would have been very different.
That would be very different, but maybe, I don't know if everyone knows it. I have something. I actually always bring a flute with me.
You just always bring.
Well, I just found it. It wasn't here.
Oh no way.
So I was wondering if
This way.
people who doesn't know. Yeah, I think this way. Shall I hold this for you?
Wow.
Who don't know it? You play the flute.
I do play the flute for many, many years.
And yeah, do we maybe want to hear a little? Oh yeah.
Let me just unbeginnerify it because it's got corks in the buttons, which is for people who can't play flute.
That's for me, maybe.
Is this your flute?
This is my flute.
Oh, it is. Well,
One of my flutes. No.
Yeah, just one of my many flutes.
No, I got it from a really nice lady in, who is a music teacher, and she borrowed me for you, especially
That's very
to play
kind.
it. And what do you think you're gonna like play or show? Or what do you like to do?
No idea. I don't really
See what
play
comes
that
out.
often anymore, so it's always just kind of I always just kind of make it up.
I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but
that could have been like my. I
do
would
you-
go out and I'd be like. Something like that.
thank you.
And I think it's a great surprise.
Yeah,
I'm not mad about it. Like
I could have come with something different.
it's a vibe, honestly. The more I can play flute, the better. Thank you, Miriam van der Maas. I'm not sure if that actually.
That is good. Yeah, that's her flute.
Well, thank you, Miriam. It's a beautiful, beautiful gesture for you to let us borrow your flute.
Can we give Cian Ducrot a big applause?
Thank you.